How to estimate the amount of paint required to paint the exterior of a home. To estimate the exterior wall surface area, measure the entire perimeter of the home. Then measure the height from the ground to the roof line. If you have a gable, do not calculate for the gable when measuring the perimeter. Then subtract 15 square feet for each window and 22 square feet for each door, including glass sliding doors. Plus deduct also for the garage door unless it's to be painted the same as the exterior color. Calculate the gable separately by measuring the width of the gable, then the height. Multiply these two figures together and divide by 2 in order to get the square footage of the gable. Add these square footages together to get the total exterior surface area. Divide the square footage by the amount of coverage per gallon. This will give you the amount of gallons required to paint the exterior wall surface. With these measurements, it is easy to calculate the square footage of the trim. Use the perimeter measurements as your length and then measure the width of your soffit and fascia area. Multiply the width of these areas by the perimeter. Measure the garage door if that is to be included in the trim color. Measure the trim area around your windows and also around your door openings. Then allow 22 square feet for each door, including glass sliding doors. For downspouts and gutters, measure the linear feet of the gutter and downspouts and multiply by 1 to get the square footage of the surface area. Add these figures together to establish the trim surface area that needs to be painted. Then divide this square footage by the amount of coverage per gallon. This will give you the amount of gallons required to paint the exterior trim surfaces. A 2-story home may have additional overhangs and fascia to be painted. I recommend that you use the highest square footage recommended by the paint manufacturer to calculate the amount of gallons required for the job. This will eliminate over-purchasing. The manufacturer's primary purpose is to sell you paint. As a general rule of thumb, it will take 1 gallon of trim paint for every 8 gallons of body paint, although this could vary depending upon the surface area and the type of paint that's used. For example, 1 gallon of Behr Premium Plus Ultra Paint with Primer has a recommended coverage of 250 to 400 square feet of surface area. My own personal experience using this paint has reflected approximately 375 square feet of 1 coat coverage on the painted surfaces. To determine the number of coats your project requires, examine the surface area. Porous, rough, textured, and previously unpainted surface areas will require more paint. The same is true when there's a huge difference in color. Visit drywallpainting.davidnorton.org for a calculator to easily find out how much paint that is required. Thank you for watching.